Okay, in this video, we are going to look at the role of microorganisms, peranan microorganisma, and there are 4 of them that you need to remember. The first one is microorganisms as producers ataupun pengeluar. Okay, so let's look at the examples given. It's phytoplankton. This is the picture, and the zoom in picture showing the phytoplankton. So where can it be found? They are usually found floating on the surface of the oceans, ponds, or lakes. So other examples, kita ada green algae, cyanobacteria ataupun the blue-green algae, dinoflagellates, and also diatoms. Pun sejenis alga juga ni. So you look at the similarities between all these examples mentioned. They have chlorophyll. The green pigments as depicted here, this very beautiful scenery, banyak greens that we can see. So that means they have this chlorophyll which is able to trap sunlight, to absorb sunlight, and then convert it to chemical energies. So in this case, phytoplankton, they can undergo photosynthesis lah. They are the autotrophs. They are very important to the aquatic ecosystem as producers in the food chains. So the next one is that microorganisms as decomposers ataupun pengurai. Okay, pengurai. So very simple lah. Example, fungi dan juga bacteria, those saprophytes, saprophytic fungi, saprophytic bacteria. So that means they are able to decompose, they feed on dead decaying matter. They are very important. They decompose organic materials from dead organisms. They are the decomposers. So what do decomposers do is that they're going to break down complex organic materials, bangkai haiwan, animal waste, carcasses, and all rotting trees as shown here. This is the rotting tree trunk, batang yang sedang mereput ini. These are the complex organic materials, right? So it's going to be broken down into simple compounds, simple ones such as ammonium. So bagaimana mereka boleh berbuat demikian is that they have these enzymes. They're going to secrete digestive enzymes to the dead decaying matter, and then they're going to absorb the products from the digestion process, the digestive process. Okay, and these products, okay, of the process decomposition contain important elements that are needed by the plants. Okay, what are the elements? Carbon, nitrogen, sulfur, yang semua ni akan balik semula kepada tanah apabila proses penguraian itu berlaku. Okay, bila dia balik kepada tanah, we know that the plants, they are rooted in the soils, right? So that means it is actually being made use or absorbed by the plants. So sangat-sangat penting, very crucial, microorganisms as decomposers. Okay, so the third point is that microorganisms can also serve as the parasites. Let's look at the examples. So masih ingat apa itu hubungan parasite lah? Parasitic relationship is that it's between the parasite and the host. So the parasite is going to benefit from the relationship, while the host sometimes they are harmed. They are harmed lah, in fact kan, but sometimes they will die from the negative effects which are caused by the parasite. Manakala parasite itu akan continue terus mendapat faedah as long as the interaction continues. Hence, most parasites, they try not to kill their hosts. Sebab host itu adalah tempat mereka dapat makanan. And one of the examples of parasitic microorganisms adalah Plasmodium species. Ini dia gambar Plasmodium species ini yang sejenis protozoa ni. Okay, what this Plasmodium species, they live inside this mosquito. Namanya Anopheles mosquito. Anopheles punya genus ya, Anopheles species. And that this Protozoa is the one that transmits malaria. They transmit malaria to anyone who is bitten by this mosquito. When the parasite is then transferred through the mosquito into the blood circulation of the person. Okay, let's look at the fourth role, peranan yang keempat as symbionts. Okay, ini macam mutualistic. It's a win-win condition, win-win situation. So what is a symbiont? Is an organism which has a close relationship with another organism yang kita panggil sebagai host, and di mana dua itu symbiont dengan host akan mendapat faedah. Okay, they are actually supporting one another, helping one another. So there are two types symbionts. The ectosymbionts daripada terms itu ecto, that means this type of symbiont is the one living outside the host cells. And there's another one which is inside the host cells. They live inside the host cells. Iaitu kita panggil sebagai endosymbiont. Okay, ectosymbiont, these are the examples. Ectomycorrhiza, it's a fungi that lives around the plant roots. And also we have this endosymbiont, that's the protozoa, Trichonympha species, living in the digestive tract, the alimentary canals of the termites. Okay, this is another example of win-win situation, the alga and the fungi punya kombinasi. Okay, yang kita panggil sebagai lichen. Okay, this is a symbiotic relationship where alga is the one responsible to synthesize food, producing food, and fungi will be fed, they get food from hasil daripada photosynthesis alga ini. Dan at the same time, what does the fungi do? Apakah kebaikan yang dia berikan kepada algae is that it's providing water, mineral, and also protection to the algae. Okay, so you can see lots of picture here showing these lichens. Okay, now moving on to another subtopic under this subtopic, that's the pathogens and also vector. Okay, apa itu pathogen? Okay, this is the definition. Organisms which causes diseases. Organisms which causes diseases. Examples are the viruses, bacteria, protozoa, and fungi. In fact, back in Form 2, you have learned about infectious diseases, iaitu penyakit berjangkit. So what is infection? Jangkitan. Okay, it is caused when a pathogen such as virus, bacteria, or any other microorganisms that enters into the body divides and then they multiplies. So we say infection already happened. And the disease caused by pathogens will occur when the cells inside the body are damaged. Terlampau banyak dia punya kerosakan yang dia buat pada sel tubuh tersebut. Okay, yang sudah being infected by these pathogen as they multiply inside the body. Okay, so this is caused by infection. The infected person itu, they will show the symptoms. Okay, yang sekarang ni kita tahu adalah pandemic COVID-19 itulah. Okay, this photograph is showing Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, you can click into the website. Okay, there's a link over here. Okay, as you go in, okay, some information for you on the diseases which are caused by Staphylococcus infection. This is it. Ini dia link tadi itu. Okay, staph infection, skin infection, and so on. Lepas tu food poisoning. So a lot of harms are there apabila berlaku infection itu. So pathogen is not good. Bukan sesuatu yang bagus. It's the one that cause diseases. Okay, this is another example. Do you still remember the bacteria by the name of Vibrio cholera? So they are the one that cause cholera itu. Okay. Okay, now another terms that you need to know. Another term that you need to know, vector. Vector. So some pathogens are caused by other organisms, such as mosquitoes and flies. These organisms are known as vectors. Okay, dalam kata lain, what are vectors? They are the organisms that transmits pathogens. Okay, pathogen and cause certain diseases. Dia orang ni macam that's the transmitter lah, yang tukang kasih transmit the pathogen. Okay, for example, just now I mentioned about the Vibrio cholera. Okay, this is a bacteria. It is spread amongst humans through flies. Nama flies ini dia punya nama scientific. This is the binomial nomenclature. That's the Mosca domestica. So when a person consumes food that has been contaminated by this bacteria, they might get cholera. Ada sebabnya makanan itu jangan terdedah kepada flies. Mesti kita tutup. Okay, otherwise ada risiko cholera. Okay, next one is dengue virus. Okay, kalau kita sebut penyakit demam dengue, everybody knows about it. It's actually transmitted to humans through this vector, this mosquito known as the Aedes aegypti. Dialah vektor bagi virus ini, dengue virus. Okay, another one is Salmonella typhi bacteria, which are transmitted to humans through food and water that has been contaminated by cockroaches. So another, kita cakap mesti kita protect, jauhi cockroaches, lipas ini sebab kotor, because they are actually the vector that is responsible to transmit this type of bacteria ataupun pathogen itu. Okay, so let's look at the effects of pathogens on human health ya. Apakah ada kesan dia? Okay, pathogens, organisms that cause diseases kan? So they are going to disrupt the immunity system in many ways. Okay, some can be very, very harmful, very destructive to human beings. Okay, so viruses or bacteria cause diseases when they disturb cell functions. Dia sudah kacau kepada sistem kita, fungsi sel kita, and it's causing cell damage. And some pathogens even they release toxins, and that could lead to paralysis or they destroy metabolic activities in the body. Jadi kesan dia, akibat dia tu is something that beyond imagination lah. Okay, so let's look at this table, the examples of pathogen like virus, bacteria, protozoa, fungi. Masing-masing ada dia punya example of diseases like hepatitis B. Dia punya culprit itu is a virus. Okay, and then here in this column shows the symptoms of the disease. Inflammation, hepatic. Hepa itu merujuk kepada liver. Okay, HEPA. Kalau nampak IS, macam ni IS, so that means it's infection. Okay, so that means the liver is being infected. Hepatic cirrhosis berlaku. Okay, and therefore, the patient will show this type of symptoms, swollen chest, the skin, the eyes, the sclera of the eyes become yellowish and may cause fatalities ataupun maut. Okay, bacteria, tuberculosis, batuk kering, kita cakap TB, sebenarnya dia punya culprit itu adalah sejenis bacteria. And you can see these are the symptoms, loss of weight, coughing blood, batuk kering, jadi dia cough out blood, and even shortness of breath. Okay, dysentery, okay, ini dia punya penyebab, dia punya orang culprit is protozoa, and that the symptoms of diseases, stomachache, diarrhea, and vomit, macam cholera kan. Okay, another one is Tinea versicolor. That's the fungi being the culprit, and the symptoms of the disease, whitish or pinkish patches on the skin. Okay, so we have come to the end of the chapter of chapter 8, biodiversity. First, we start off with classification and naming. Okay, we have gone through the taxonomy, the hierarchy dia, yang bermula daripada domain to species. Then we have also come across the naming ataupun the Linnaeus binomial nomenclature, tata cara penamaan itu, also dichotomous key in identifying organisms, a group of organisms, biodiversity in these three aspects, what is phylogenetic tree, importance, and 8.3, ya agak panjang sikit, kita berkenalan dengan microorganisms and also viruses. Okay, bacteria, protozoa, algae, fungi, viruses, and this one, the role of microorganisms. Yang kita lihat dalam video ini, they are the producer, they as the decomposer, parasite, symbiont, and in the previous videos, we look at the role of microorganisms in nitrogen cycle. Also in this video, we talk about pathogens, vectors, and the effects of pathogens on human health.